I'm Rachel Alday, and this is the Hospitality Breakroom, a podcast full of nuggets and secret sauce, where every Monday we'll shed light on what we've learned from the countless mistakes we've made along our journey in the chaotic and rewarding world of vacation rentals. Welcome back to the Hospitality Breakroom, and I'm Rachel Alday, and today I have with me Ryan Midiri, and he's with Ski Butlers. And we run him on the podcast because we wanted to share with our homeowners and with any of our listeners who are in the vacation rental and property management industry some really good examples of working with vendors who can be awesome support to our guests and give us some really cool access, not only to amazing ski gear delivery service, but also some additional access because Ski Butlers was how long ago acquired?
We were acquired about 3 years ago. This is our third season under the Altera umbrella.
I'm like not remembering that. Okay. Yeah. So so Ski Butlers got acquired by Altera 3 years ago. And that has really been interesting because it's given some really cool access that Ski Butlers can provide to its clients and therefore to our clients because we work with them all the time. And for sure in Park City, and we're working on making sure that we're consistently partnering with them in all three of our markets. Okay. So how long have you been with Ski Butlers?
This is year 8. So I started in 2017.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah. Hired here in Park City as just local sales.
Did we get to know you right when that happened?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
how can that be 8 years?
Who was the concierge that you had?
I want to say, was it Key Concierge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was?
I think it was not Kim, before Kim. It was it Jeff? No. Oh my gosh.
What is it? I will.
Yeah, it was like a cool name. I think it was a little different, right? Like, oh my gosh.
And she was good. She was
amazing. She's not in concierge anymore.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember.
But I think that was my first year.
Okay.
And I met you, but ultimately I worked really closely with her.
Okay, yeah. So there was a woman who worked with Key Concierge.
Yeah.
And for people listening, so Key Concierge is, well, now it's different actually. Key Concierge was a private concierge company that was started with like investment money. And it was started as a concierge company to be in resort markets. And it was like they had an actual person in each market. And then they would do outsourced concierge. And it was really cool.
She was really effective.
Yeah.
At the point that you brought up.
Yeah.
Natasha?
No, not Natasha.
Skylar?
It was Sky. Yeah.
With that person, obviously Skylar that we worked with, but they had others in other markets, being boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Really hands-on.
She's amazing.
She was incredibly effective.
Yeah.
I heard that from other markets as well. That year I was only working in Park City.
Yeah, Park City was their biggest market and we were their biggest client.
And she was great, but the setup was so smart because she just had this knowledge, this local knowledge that as they changed their...
Yeah. Well, and they changed a lot.
Yes.
So we're getting off on a tangent, which I love.
That's all right.
Okay, so Key Concierge started. This is just interesting for if you're a homeowner and you have a property management, if you have a property that you have with a property management vacation rental company, like a second home, there are usually options in most resort markets for like outsourced concierge. Key Concierge was one of the first ones that was bigger, sort of well-funded. The woman that started it, her husband is in private equity. And so like they had investment going into it. And they started it with all these satellite markets. They were based out of Texas and they had a human in each market. And then they went to a centralized concept where they pulled the people out of the individual markets and they were running it all out of Texas. Like you said,
Austin, Texas.
Yeah. And that just didn't work very well, which we've seen that proven over many years in many different companies.
Yep.
And because then they didn't have local people. So like say someone in Austin didn't understand like ski gear rentals and stuff like that. So we ended up, when they fired Skylar because they were getting rid of all their people in the market, we hired her, just kind of like drama. But we ended up hiring Skylar and she was our in-house concierge for a little while, but then she moved into like, I want to say like pharmaceutical or like, maybe she moved into like tech security, something like that.
Okay.
But anyway, and I followed her. She's interesting because she's like a bodybuilder and stuff.
Yes.
So interesting. Okay. But anyway, I digress. So then Key Concierge is now a like wholesaling vacation rental company. So Key Concierge now lists properties to rent online. And did they do concierge? Kind of like Luxury Retreats was, if anyone remembers that.
I remember Luxury Retreats. And we still work with Key.
Yeah.
We have,
But they might manage properties in these markets.
yeah, we have another director of sales. There's two of us at Ski Butlers. The other manages the key relationship.
Okay.
So I don't have a ton of oversight and contact with them right now. But I mean, I still see them pop up on our reports monthly.
I think their concierge only model just wasn't pulling in the revenue. So they went to like wholesaling the rental story with concierge, which is cool. Okay. So that's interesting. Just side note for our homeowners, if you ever hear about key concierge, we've tried it. We used it for like 2 or 3 years. It was cool. It just didn't exactly work the way that it ended up sort of changing over time.
What I was going to say, I think there's a time and a place or a company in a place where it fits, or a model like that.
Or like in urban markets or markets that have like more simplified activities like skiing, golfing, that stuff could be pretty specific.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think so that's something interesting to think of. If you're a homeowner and your property is like not in one of the abode markets, and you're looking for, you're wondering what to do about who's going to manage your property and how will concierge be handled, that is something to think about. There are a few companies that do outsourced concierge, and it's an interesting concept. Okay, so then that's when we started working with Ski Butlers, right? Is when Skylar was with us.
Yeah.
And then after that, we've had all different iterations of our concierge, and we're still always fine-tuning that. But we've worked with Ski Butlers over the years. For a few years, we were Ski Butlers like number 1 or number 2 source of revenue because we were sending all of our clients to them.
Yep.
And we've sort of like, I would say we haven't been as consistent with that. And so we're working very hard now to get back. We want the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
Even though Ski Butlers in Park City, Utah does have a location at the Waldorf on site.
So we are on site at the Waldorf. We're on site at Golden Hurst.
And we were getting close to that, right? At some point.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think, 2 years ago, you were starting to get up into that stratosphere with
I want to get back to that.
These luxury hotels where we just have such a high capture rate.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's pre-booking, which is
they have like you have a desk in there.
Totally. So we do a lot of pre-book through our automated communication or hands-on concierge service that we work with the hotel.
Yeah.
But we have that captive audience because they check in, and if they read any of their pre-arrival emails, they walk right into us.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Abode was up there for a couple of years, taking a little bit of a step back, but I mean, still performing as one of our top partners in really the whole company. I mean, Park City Deer Valley is our largest market company.
Okay. Yeah.
And Abode is consistently at the top. I was just speaking with somebody before I came over here saying, hey, I'm heading over to, our top partner, somebody from another market.
Wow,
and
cool.
The entire company knows of Abode.
Really?
Yeah.
It's always been shocking to me. Like, here we are just doing our little thing. And then when someone says like, oh no, you're like a big client for us or whatever, I'm like, we are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I benchmark Abode a lot when I'm coaching in other markets and finding ways to work with other property managers where either maybe we have success but not scale, or we're struggling to break through exclusivity, and I can come back to some of the conversations that we've had, challenges, successes, all those things.
Right. I have learned a lot together because it's like, I want to just be like, yeah, we're going to do Ski Butlers in all of our markets. Like for years we've been in Jackson Hole and I've been like, all right, let's do Ski Butlers. But the reality is when you're dealing with local people who are working in those markets, they might have relationships. And so, maybe this is what happened in Jackson is like our staff, some of our staff in Jackson Hole has been with us for the entire 12 years we've been there. Yeah. And so some of them have friends that have ski rental companies. And so they, have been pushing our clients to those companies over the years.
Sure.
And it's been hard because we want to keep everything fair and nice. But as Ski Butlers has become more and more strong in Jackson Hole and also now in Sun Valley, it's like we are working to mandate that, all of our clients get recommended to go to Ski Butlers, mostly because the service has been so good. But, it's like with ski towns, these towns are so insular. People are pretty touchy about new businesses coming to town. We have to usually go slow and steady, but I'm like, I think we're finally there. We can really pull the throttle. Okay, but Ski Butlers to me was so interesting in the fact that we wanted to bring Ryan on the podcast is because our relationship has been really awesome in terms of the service that Ski Butlers provides the guest and the fact that they partnered or consolidated with Altera. Am I saying that right?
The acquisitions they were acquired by Altera.
They were acquired by Altera. That's created all these opportunities for the clients of Ski Butlers to have really cool access at Altera Resorts, and it's played out amazingly well at Deer Valley, especially because Deer Valley has quotas or caps on how many people can ski. Sorry, caps, not quotas. Each day. And so working with Altera has given us some options we never had. So do you want to talk about, Ryan, sort of how this worked when the acquisition and then maybe go into like the markets that Ski Butlers is in, and then how some of these perks kind of can play out for the Ski Butlers guests now?
Yeah, absolutely. So pre-acquisition, and Ski Butlers has been around for 21 years now. So the 18 years prior to being acquired, we've always been looked at ski resorts as competition, right?
Oh, okay.
Their rental programs were competitors.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Okay.
Whether it's a Vail resort, whether it's an Altera resort, an independent resort, whatever it might be, they've always been competitors. It has always been in our best interest to play as nicely as we can, follow procedures, build relationships, even though, hey, we're competitors, but we're all working in the same space.
Right.
We need to find a way to get along. Ultimately, taking care of the guests being the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if it's our guests, our skis, it's still a Deer Valley guest or it's still an Empire State guest.
None of the resorts have ever done delivery, right?
So I can't speak.
I've heard of.
They do now. Epic.
Do they?
They do.
I didn't know that.
They do.
Okay.
So my Epic gear.
Okay. I haven't even heard about that.
And
I guess just to clarify to anyone listening, because I know there's like probably millions of people listening.
At least.
Yeah. I mean, look, so as we're talking right now, it's Monday, the 3rd of March, I think. So I think this will be released a week from now. Is that right, Helen?
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time people listen to this, like, I mean, we're probably going to just promote it so hard. They'll be like, probably billions of people.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to clarify for all of our 7 listeners that what we're talking about is, so Ski Butlers, if you don't already know, which you should know, but in case you don't, Ski Butlers does ski gear delivery. So like most people, when they go skiing, if they don't know about these amazing services where you can rent skis and have the skis and the boots and the helmets and everything delivered to the house and do the fitting at the house where you're staying or the hotel. A lot of people from the past are used to, like, you get into town and then you have to go to a ski shop and you have to bring your whole family, kind of like be somewhere crowded, cram in there, get in line, and then finally get someone to help you sit down. And it's like the old fashioned way. And it's just like another one of those like the little annoying parts of going skiing. And then Ski Butlers came along and like created this much better scenario, which we started using so early in our business, because obviously we do luxury rentals and we want luxury service for our guests and for our homeowners. So now if you work with Ski Butlers, you book with them before you come to town. And the way we do it is when any of our guests are booking, we send like a link and then we do a whole prompt with calling them and stuff to get them to order up their ski gear and give us like their stats, their information on their size and their level of skier and their height and weight and all that stuff before they come. And then Ski Butlers will pull all the gear for their whole group, even if there's like 15 people or 20 people staying in like a big, 8-bedroom house or whatever. Ski Butlers will get all the gear into a van and then come at the agreed upon time. So let's say you fly in, you check into the house at 4:00, and then you guys have like some drinks and some snacks, and you want Ski Butlers to come at like say 6 before you go to dinner. They can come to the house, and you guys, like you and your family are sitting in front of the fireplace chilling. Ski Butlers guy will come in, bring all your gear, fit you, and then leave the stuff with you. So you have all your ski stuff now at the house before you even go to dinner the first night. And then, like, if you're a Ski Butlers client, let's say you go skiing the next day and you're out on the mountain and your kid is whining because their boots are too tight, Ski Butlers people will come meet you at the mountain and like bring you a different pair of boots or whatever. So to me, whenever I learned about this is crazy amazing. And this is not something that until recently was ever offered by any of the resorts.
Yeah. So and again, I don't know the exact timeline on it, but the resorts kind of piggybacked off the model.
I get it. They should.
These ski rental delivery companies popping up, some of them local, some of them with a more national footprint like ours, taking market share from the resorts, right?
Yeah.
So you've got your mom and pop ski shops, and delivery comes along. And really, we saw it boom with COVID.
Yeah.
Our growth pre-COVID was steady.
Yeah.
But with COVID and sanitary and stand in line, of course, right?
Yeah.
So we see this big boom.
Oh yeah.
But at the same
You
time,
have to be in that shop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
it's a big competitive advantage for us over traditional rental shops to say, hey, you're interacting with one person.
Right.
We were masked. We had all these, safety procedures and all that.
Yeah.
But you're not standing around 50 strangers in line waiting for your rentals.
Which, how is that even allowed? If you think about it, was that even being allowed?
I don't.
You would think they were like keeping people out, but like one family at a time or something.
That was a tough year
Yeah.
across the board. That was a tough year. But to your point, so you're really selling the service. Hey, we deliver, which is amazing and convenient, very simple, and we love that. But the support is what, to me, kind of cements Ski Butlers and the whole delivery process as saying, you're on the mountain, you're here for 3, 4, or 5 days,
Yep.
you go on one ski trip a year.
Yeah.
How do you maximize your time?
And like if your boots aren't comfortable and you went into a ski shop, you're probably never gonna make it back over there to switch out your boots. So you're just like stuck with those. Now you're not.
Yeah, and this kind of ties back into what we were talking about before with pre-acquisition versus post-acquisition.
Yeah.
Because
How many markets before?
So right now we are in about 19 markets,
Okay.
delivering to over 40 resorts.
How many before the acquisition? Like, did it grow a lot? You were already there.
We have expanded to, since acquisition, Mammoth, Stratton, Winter Park, Blue, Tremblant,
So like
Big Bear. So 6, so like 13 markets.
Okay. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they've helped ramp up our expansion, which has been really exciting. But when we were a competitor and we talked about that support service,
Yeah.
guests would call us, "Hey, I'm skiing Deer Valley. Can you come swap my boots?" Absolutely no problem.
Yeah.
When we came to Deer Valley or Park City or any other resort where we're not affiliated, we couldn't go on the snow. As a competitor for legal reasons.
Yeah.
We had no access to the resort. We couldn't go in the lodges.
Okay.
Understandably.
Yeah.
We're a third party. A lot of times what we would try to do is just support it back at like a ski in ski out house. Hey, you're heading back to your house for lunch.
Yeah.
We'll meet you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If not, you had to have them walk off the snow.
Yeah.
The parking lot, which is not terrible.
Like the loading zone or
We're still
something.
coming to them.
Yeah.
Typically like a ski beach area or something
Yeah.
like that. Now, with the Altera acquisition, and we're part of the family, every one of these Altera resorts where we operate,
Yeah.
we have full access to the mountain.
That's crazy.
We can go on snow. You can go in the lodges.
Yeah. So you'd be like, I'll meet you at Empire Lodge.
I'll meet you at Empire Lodge.
Yeah.
I'll meet you at the base of this lit.
Yeah.
I'll meet you, go grab a beer at the bar and I'll come swap your boot for you.
This is why also like Ski Butlers is such a good partner for Abode, is because I'm like, look, if there's people listening that are that you own a home in like other non-Abode markets, or you have a property management company, wherever, some of this stuff is going to depend on the markets that you're in and all that kind of stuff. But for us, for Abode partnering with Ski Butlers, it's like so obvious because all 3 of our markets, Park City, Jackson Hole, and Sun Valley, have Ski Butlers offices. So it's like, absolutely perfect.
Yeah. It's it's a great partnership. And to your point, I mean, we've seen a lot of success here in Park City and Deer Valley, understandably. But I do think it's coming in Jackson and Sun Valley. And one of the things with Jackson is Altera owns the Icon Pass.
Yeah.
Now, we are not a part of Jackson Hole, but there are a lot of initiatives happening to say, how can we tap into the Icon market a little more? How can we be more?
They would want.
How can there be more value in your Icon Pass?
Yeah.
Through Ski Butlers.
Yeah.
What can we bring?
So at Jackson and Sun Valley, you guys can't go on the snow, but you can like meet at the drop-off pickup or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Still great and convenient for the guests.
Yeah. Totally.
So.
Yeah. Because a lot of times, if you're not with Ski Butlers, if you're booking your ski rental stay like with a shop on Main Street, could be any of the towns, like on the Main Street, like the main road, that means you're gonna leave the resort and like go into town, which is just not. It's way more feasible, especially let's say at Jackson or Sun Valley, where it's like pretty easy to get down to the base. It's not like so crazy, like say Park City and Canyons is a little different. Obviously, we like Deer Valley better, but not always. You guys, we do like Park City.
Like Park City. I'm sure orders.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was your Valley girl, but I would think it still works, but it is really cool that you could like go on mountain to a lodge at some of these resorts.
It's great. I mean, and we have seen the feedback in these last 3 years is phenomenal.
Crazy.
I mean, the guests are so happy.
Yeah.
It is that much more convenient.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was blown away by, even my first year at Ski Butlers, was the support and how often we are out there supporting our guests. Not to say that the guest wasn't happy on delivery.
Right.
Hey, his boot feels great. It
Boots
feels
are
great.
comfortable, honestly.
Ski boots are inherently comfortable. It's just the reality of it. We do our best to get, the guest in the right fit. We bring multiple pair of boots on delivery for each guest. But there are times you get out there, you ski for an hour or two, you've got a hot spot, you're moving around a little bit, it's too tight.
Yeah.
Especially with kids.
Yeah. Or like whiny adults. Which
And not having and not having to lug the whole family or the group back to that, wherever that shop may be.
Yes.
Is it on Main Street? Is it in town? Whatever it is.
Totally.
We come to you.
Okay, wait.
Giving you time or giving you more time on your vacation.
Which resorts can you go on mountain at? Like, you don't tell us all of them, but tell us like, because I'm just thinking if anyone's listening and like if you're traveling to one of these resorts, or if you have a house in one of these resorts, or someone that does, this is something interesting to think about. Because if you're a homeowner of a second home and like your friend has a house in one of these places that Ryan's going to list, you want to tell your friends about Ski Butlers, because for real, like, I don't know if you're getting it from like, if you're picking up what we're putting down here, but I feel like utilizing Ski Butlers for the guest experience makes it so much easier for them to have a positive ski experience. Like, as we all know, I just took my daughter skiing on Saturday, and we live here. We ski all the time, and it was still like a freaking battle. She just didn't feel like it, and like getting her, And so it's so nice if you don't have to fight with the gear. You know what I mean? So what are the places that people need to know, like, are the most primo access?
Yeah. So we're not in every Altera location yet.
Okay.
We may not be immediately.
Yeah.
The expansion is not just happening. Hey, 3 resorts every year.
Yeah.
There is a vision to get us into every market eventually. We currently operate in 9 Altera markets.
Okay.
So Deer Valley. Let's go to the East Coast. Stratton, Vermont, Tremblant up north of Montreal, and Blue Mountain, which is north of Toronto.
Oh, okay.
So that's our 3 on the East Coast.
I was in Toronto for the Taylor Swift concert not long ago.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't really relate to what you're saying, but I had to let everyone know. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, my 4-year-old is becoming a Swiftie, so
you can just hope that Taylor Swift will be done with her big career push by the time your 4-year-old's like ready to go to a concert, because those tickets are not affordable.
I believe it.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay, if I miss it. Colorado is Steamboat.
Okay, yeah.
Winter Park.
Okay.
I feel like I'm forgetting one, and I might be. Then we'll go to California. We've got Mammoth, Big Bear, Palisades.
Okay.
So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So anyone who has a house in those places, or if you know someone, you need to tell them about Ski Butlers. For real, it's a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I talk a lot, whether it's a prospective partner, whoever it might be, is the idea of ski rental delivery is just great. And honestly, there's a lot of competitors out there that do a really good job. I'm not here to knock.
I haven't seen anyone, and I'm not trying to talk shit.
Yeah.
I do know about some other companies. Sure. I don't know about anyone that's in as many markets as you guys and that has as consistent of training and like execution.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. We have hired, I don't know if I can remember how many, but I think we have 3 people, maybe 4, that used to work at Ski Butlers. And we got them, and like basically we hired one person, and then their friends were all working at Ski Butlers. So over the years, they brought more of their friends on. But we love it. And I'm sorry, please don't be mad that we've taken Ski Butlers. But we love it because Ski Butlers have such good training. And I don't think that I've noticed any other companies that have training like that. I mean, they may, or like as time passes, maybe they'll get good at it. But I do think like Ski Butlers, he's had a really good strategic plan from the beginning and like really good training. I think that's unique. Plus, of all the markets, it's just a lot of years of experience.
Well, that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on is consistency.
Yeah.
So it's not just Park City where you're seeing that. Yeah. It is every market. It is the same process. It's the same language. It is the same uniform.
That's what it seems like.
And that's what we're going for.
Yeah.
We are, as far as our footprint goes, there are some competitors that have similar markets that we do. But our focus is that level of service and consistency. So you're getting the exact same experience whether you're in Jackson, Sun Valley.
Have any of your competitors, have they been acquired by a resort?
Not that I
was going to say. Because if Vail has delivery now, did they acquire someone?
No. Sorry,
I'm not trying to talk smack. And look, I mean, we probably literally do have like 15 listeners, so I think we can just talk. But it's interesting to me because I didn't realize they were doing delivery, and I would have thought they maybe would have acquired someone, but now they're just trying to do it themselves.
Yeah, so they're doing it themselves. You'll see the bands around town.
I haven't seen them. Yeah,
there's a handful of them. I mean, it's a lot. It is, and we have actually hired some people to run some of our locations, general managers who have come from resort rentals.
Yeah,
various resorts, and there are pros and cons. A lot of pros, but one of the things you see right away is there are so many more variables with rental delivery versus just running a traditional rental shop.
Yeah.
Now that can go both ways.
Right.
I'm sure there are other challenges that we don't face that they do.
Yeah.
But it's not easy to do.
Right.
So, just hey, we're gonna buy a bunch of vans and deliver a bunch of skis. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yes.
So but yeah, that consistency is really important for us.
Yeah.
And our goal, and we're with partners, and Abode, I think, is a great example of this, is we're trying to help our partners build brand loyalty with their guests. And I think when you talk about homeowners, like this is what we can provide.
Well, I mean, building loyalty with guests benefits the homeowners.
100%.
Having repeat guests, repeating their stays back at the same home year after year is great for the homeowner as well, because that's like nice, consistent revenue with a guest that, if we're allowing them to book year after year, that means they're good guests. They, are nice at the house, and there's a good like symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to do everything we can to act as an extension of a boat. And,
Yeah.
That the level of luxury that a guest is come to expect when working with a boat that they get from start to finish. We want to be that same level of service and luxury.
That's the difference with Ski Butlers too. I feel like we have tried over the years, and this was like a longer time ago, so things could have gotten better. But we did find that like some of the other companies we looked at, they were good, but they weren't offering high-end luxury type service. Maybe it's just in the language and the whatever, like when they're dealing with guests, where we felt like the training, like I said, and just the guest experience with Ski Butlers was just so much more consistent and like a little bit more upscale and not super formal where it doesn't feel authentic, but
it's a fine line.
Yeah.
The authenticity is really important. We don't want to come in a shirt and tie. And
right.
We don't know anything about.
When
you know,
they got cool, like tails, like butler tails.
We've dabbled in.
Toyed with that.
Yeah. But no, there is a fine line. And, when we talk about hiring people and back to the training and the consistency and all that, it's so important for us to find the right people.
Yeah.
That is, at the end of the day, our people are what keeps the company going and culture. And we're just looking for people who are passionate and want to be here for the right reasons. Yeah. Of course, we want them to make money and find this to be an advantageous seasonal job that they can come back to. Some of them
a huge balancing act.
It is. But the authenticity and the passion has to be there or it doesn't work.
That's what the guest wants.
You've had people come in who aren't skiers.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Because if they want to learn.
Yeah.
We have seen some of our best team members that come in. They've moved from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Hey, I've never skied, but I want to try it.
And so can they be someone that can like go fit a guest?
Totally.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can teach them to fit a boot.
Okay.
Now we're not custom selling a boot, right?
Yeah.
There's a difference between being a pro, like professional boot fitter.
You're not doing like the foam. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we can absolutely teach them to fit a boot, teach them to be a great ski tech. And sometimes they're the best ski techs. Even though they might not have as much personal ski expertise.
Yeah.
Their excitement and what they give the guests in the interaction.
Yeah.
Sometimes trumps that of somebody who's been here for 10, 15 years. They are going through the motions.
Yeah.
So we are looking for those people, that energy, that passion.
Yeah.
Because the interaction that we have with the guests might be their first or second when they get to town, right?
That's
fly in.
We have the same. Yeah.
They get their transportation.
Yeah. This is like the deciding factor. A lot of times those first interactions is like, are we all going to get a good review? Is Ski Butlers going to get a good review? Is the boat? And it's those first minutes.
We've got to nail it.
Yeah.
And the guests are always so fired up.
Yeah.
Right? They're here. They just got off a plane. They're one ski trip a year.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I go?
I feel like it's like on a fulcrum. Seriously. Think about it. They were traveling.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like they're with their family, like probably kids are traveling. It's like a
Kids.
nightmare traveling, no matter what.
Yeah. Influence is the crap.
And so it's like they're on like a tipping point.
Yes.
A lot of the time. It's like they're psyched, they're ready to take their trip. They're also like so tired, they're over hungry. They have so much crap because like if you're traveling to ski, especially, it's like you don't just have your bag.
Oh yeah.
You also don't just have like your diaper bag in your store. You have all the ski stuff. Well, at least all of your like ski clothes. And then if you're renting and now it's like you're making sure that people are coming on time and what's your dinner ready and whatever. So it's like that moment is defining.
Yeah.
It's like if Ski Butlers comes or whoever we were to be booking, which is why we work at Ski Butlers, if someone were to show up at that first hour since the guest gets there, and maybe they arrive at the house and they're super happy, but then Ski Butlers shows up and like piss them off, that would be really bad.
Yeah.
And we haven't had that. Like Ski Butlers has consistently been able to take part in that process of those first couple hours of making the guests super happy, so that the rest of their time, they, even if like the toilet overflows or whatever, they're like, who cares? We love this trip.
It's back to their ski rental.
Well, it's weird because when people are super happy in the first couple hours, they can hold that momentum of that like mindset through hard times.
And the opposite can happen as well.
And if they're
cliffs,
that's it. Everything can be perfect. When they don't.
Service recoveries.
Yeah.
Enough.
So like that's a homeowner thing, I think, is a few things. One, if you're a homeowner in one of the markets where a boat is, Park City, Jackson Hole, or Sun Valley, if you have like a kid who's like in college or whatever, or just getting out of college, like Ski Butlers does a very good job in terms of training them for their future. And also just like, I feel like it's a cool starting job that people don't think about. You should think about that, number one. Or maybe that's number two when I'm going backwards. And then number one, it is something important to think about. Like if you have a second home, you care about the guest experience. Like maybe, you have a property management company, you're not taking care of the house or the guest yourself, but like you care that your house is going to get a bad review. If your house gets a bad review, homeowners take that personally a lot of the time, which I get.
Sure.
So it's like, you're going to want to make sure you're doing everything you can as a homeowner. You're like making sure you have appliances that are the best thing. You're making sure your property management company takes care of the house. It makes it look nice for the arrival and does all the little end bake things. But then there is that part that you kind of can't control. Someone else is like handling the guests for you. But so it is something to think about that if if you're a homeowner and you're in a ski market and you're not with a boat, you want to ask your property management company, what ski gear rental company do they work with? Because then you want to look into who that company is.
Totally.
Because whoever they work with is going to have like an impact on those guests' happiness and their reviews. So if you're in a market with ski butlers, like that's something to consider. If you're in a market that doesn't have ski butlers, then you just want to like, are they recommending that people go to a ski shop because that's like their buddy, or are they recommending some ski gear delivery company? And then I think for people that are homeowners or property management companies, vacation rental companies in non-ski markets, this would apply for like, I don't know, beach chair rentals, golf rentals, like what else? Like bike rentals.
Yeah.
You want to think about, does the company that whoever's managing your house in whatever kind of market it is, whatever kind of service providers that company is recommending to the guests, are they delivering the bikes? Are they offering add-ons with the beach chairs? Like, is it something that is like an added level of service that's going to create value to the guests and help get you good reviews? Because as a homeowner, you might not think it matters because you're leaving that property management company, but like it does matter because at the end of the year, if you're looking at getting bad reviews and you're wondering why that happened, there's like a lot of reasons. So that could be one. Something to think about. I do think that Ski Butlers is unique because they are partnered and they were acquired by Altera. That does give access, which that's another thing I wanted to cover.
Yeah.
So in Park City, and I keep talking about Park City, but that's because we talk a lot about Park City because Ryan's been here in Park City where also my husband and I live. But Deer Valley, like I said earlier, has a cap on how many skiers can go. And sometimes it sells out. It's actually more common than you would think that they sell out tickets. And that can be really terrible. So as a company, Avo does reach out to all the guests on an ongoing basis. Like as soon as the availability for list tickets becomes available every year, we reach out to all of our guests to let them know you need to book your list tickets because they can sell out, yada, yada. But as we all know, people get busy or they ignore emails. And every year there are people who are staying in properties in Deer Valley, sometimes even ski and ski out properties. They did not buy list tickets and they're sold out and they are freaking out, right? They probably spent 20, 50, 80 grand for their lodging for a week, more even, and they can't get access to list tickets. Yeah. So in the past, that was like, too bad. That's it.
You're out of luck.
You literally can't get any because they would have it. And you could tell them like, hey, this person's staying in a house, ski and ski out. They're like, Deer Valley didn't care.
Yeah.
So now with Altera acquiring Ski Butlers, it's given us some really interesting benefits for our guests that are using Ski Butlers. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So we have the ability to work with the skier services department at Deer Valley for any guest renting Ski Butlers equipment. We can get them access to it.
That's crazy.
It's weird. It's not something that we're going crazy promoting.
Yeah.
We're not flashing it on our website or anything like that.
Right.
But this partnership with Avode is one where we have said, hey, you got a lot of ski and ski out at Deer Valley.
Yeah.
This is your client. This is a really important part.
Not that we're not going to try and preemptively avoid this, but like we get in a van every year with a couple of people.
This year we've been able to help.
Huge.
And it's been really exciting to just kind of come through in that last minute.
Yeah.
Take care of the guests. They were thrilled. They were renting gear anyway.
It's absolute lifesaver.
It works out really well. So
think about it. If someone paid all that extra money to stay in a ski and scout property and they're going to have to get a car or drive their car or shuttle over to another resort, that they are not happy.
Oh, yeah.
And there's been years where we've had to facilitate stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Deer Valley has this program where they have these bolos, like those leather necktie things. I don't even know if this still exists, but they used to, and people could buy those. And they're like, it's like a transferable ski pass. Anyone who wears the bolo gets the pass.
I don't know if it exists anymore.
So it was like a thing a long time ago.
The old pass thing, but like,
yeah. And it was literally like, I would have to find people in Park City that I knew that had a bolo, which those things are very expensive. I think like 10, 20 grand, even 50. I don't know. They're a lot.
It should still exist.
And I had to
remember this.
Yeah. I had to find people that had those and somehow like pay them or talk them into giving me some for a family. Like it was insane. Yeah. So this is massively huge. Does this happen only at Deer Valley or is there similar access? Do you know other resorts?
So I work closely, I should say, with 4 of the Altera markets, and Deer Valley is the only one that caps.
Okay. Okay, right. You're right. Because it's not that common that people cap. Okay.
I don't know about the California and the Colorado
Okay.
markets well enough.
I wonder if
They don't.
Tahoe. Well, no, you're not. You're Mammoth,
Palisades.
right? Palisades.
So Palisades, Mammoth, and Big Bear in California. But I mean, this is just an example of the integration with the resorts and what we're doing to bring more value to the guests. Right?
I mean, so
so it might be different. It might be different in another market. Hey, we're giving them access in some different way. Or we're giving them some other perk that our competitors can't.
Well, it's not even enough that you can come on mountain and bring skis. Like that's crazy.
Sure.
I think for homeowners too, like if you're listening and if you are, if you have your property managed by a boat, or if you have a property in Deer Valley and it's managed by someone else, like this is something to think about, because you can just imagine yourself and your family going on a trip that's ski in, ski out somewhere and not being able to get a ticket and finding out too late that they're sold out, and then finding out that someone can get you access. Like that is crazy town. And so I think that's just something to think about. And even if it is only Deer Valley, that's a crazy thing with Ski Butlers.
Yeah.
Like an absolute game changer, lifesaver. Hopefully you'll get it. Well, I guess like you said, there's not that many that cap. There must be more. I don't know where.
Yeah, but it's just really, they've been really collaborative. Yeah, and across the board, all the resorts and the leadership in Denver has just been valued. Yes, Ski Butlers.
Are there any like secret for the park tips? I can tell her like little. No, I know you're not gonna like, first release of this information happening on the Hospitality Breakroom podcast. Like, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just wondering, like, is there anything? Maybe it's like stuff that's already been released we might not know about. That's like a cool perk or something.
Yeah. So there is a new product that we actually just launched Friday.
Oh, cool.
We did not talk about this.
Okay.
That was just cool.
That's what I asked. Okay.
We launched a new product called Quiver.
Okay.
And it's powered by Altera.
Okay.
Ski Butlers is a big part of the fulfillment.
Okay.
We're piloting this year in 4 markets.
Where?
So Deer Valley, Palisades, Mammoth, and Steamboat.
Okay, cool. We love Steamboat.
Quiver is a subscription model for rentals.
Oh.
So currently, it was priced at $40 per annual subscription fee. And then rentals are $50 per day.
Okay.
As much or as little as you want, wherever you are. So in this example,
is it per person, or would it be like 40 per family and then all the people, or it's per person?
Per person.
Okay. Okay.
But then, and you have access to all kinds of different skis.
Is it 40 per year? So like every year you re-up your membership?
I believe so. And again, we literally just launched this Friday.
And is it like access to additional skis than you would usually get?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So if any of you listening know about Ski Butlers, Rachel,
there's millions of people listening right now.
I know that. And we have historically been exclusive with Rossignol.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, we brought in a few boutique brands. We've been Parlor, Wagner, and Whitespace Snowboards.
Cool.
Which has been really well received to have some brand diversity. And still, we have gotten, questions, concern. Hey, you guys don't have all the brands that some of your competitors do. With this Quiver product, we are bringing in additional brands. So we have a handful of new brands.
Cool.
That are not available through the traditional Ski Butlers product right now. It is only available through Quiver.
Is Quiver like a company that was acquired, or it's just a new product?
New product, sort of collaboration between Altera and Ski Butlers.
Cool.
Really, really fun, exciting, and something that, the industry is moving towards. The world is moving. Everything is subscription.
You heard it here first. More than Rossignol is now available with Ski Butlers if you did a Quiver program. I love it.
So, and we'll see. The idea here is we're piloting for the next, whatever you want to call it, 6 weeks, and then to expand next year. So we'll learn some stuff. We'll figure it out.
So you said it's also in Steamboat, right? Because we have friends that own a vacation rental company in Steamboat. They have 3 markets. So I hope they're listening. I don't know if they listen to the podcast, but maybe they are, because they could have access to this too. And then wait, is Steamboat one of the markets where you can go on snow or no? Oh, it is. See, okay, so they probably already know. But if you have a house in Steamboat and you didn't know about Ski Butlers, then now you know, and now you know about Quiver and the fact that you can go on the snow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like these are some, I think of course I love our markets where a boat is, but also like Steamboat is a cool market too. I do feel like Altera is in some of the best ski markets.
Yeah.
So it's like really a perfect match between like a very good high level service, well-branded company that does this excellent thing of bringing the ski gear to the people, but also available in like the good ski places.
Yeah.
And I know it's like some people, everyone has opinions on that, but But yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So you told us about Quiver. Is there anything else that we need to share with people that's interesting that they should know about, especially if you're thinking about like from a homeowner's point of view? But it could be anything.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we've been talking a lot about this year, and now it's crazy. It's March, it's the end of the year, but is the expansion that we I mean, last year, right? So 3 new markets: Big Bear, Tremblant, and Blue.
So what's coming on? Do you know what's coming on next? Can you tell us?
I cannot say.
Okay.
It's funny because we've learned a lot from these markets. So
Yeah.
if you know anything about the East Coast, and historically, prior to acquisition, we had not operated on the East Coast.
I don't know much about.
And there was some reasoning behind that.
Okay.
Shorter stays, weekend trips,
Okay.
1 or 2 days on snow versus your average length of stay here, 4 or 5, 6 days.
Yeah.
So longer rental periods, which is less labor intensive.
Yeah.
Revenue. So it makes a lot of sense for us to deliver out here.
Yeah.
Whereas as we were vetting some of the East Coast resorts, we said it might not make so much sense.
Yeah.
And Altera said, hey, there are a few markets that we think this could work. And we've learned so much. I mean, the operating model in Blue and in Stratton is very different. Now, the level of service and all what we're offering is the same, but where you have to get creative on delivery locations. There are people coming up and renting that don't have lodging. They're renting for 1 day. How do we do that?
Oh, they're like driving.
And actually, I can highlight this other product, which we launched last year called Ski Butlers Express.
Okay.
Which is a contactless delivery. Think of it like where we just drop your gear, shake your hand.
Do you have that around here, or that just?
No, we do.
So that's for like 1 day, like lockers or something.
It can be for a full length stay. We see it a lot out west, more for returners. So hey, I know what boot I'm in. I know what ski I want. Or even I brought my own boots. I just need skis. Drop them off for me.
Yeah.
And we just drop them. Whether we shake their hand, leave them outside their door.
Oh, okay.
Really, really cool. Seamless.
Yeah.
But we've had to lean into that more on the East Coast. And that's been fun for us to just learn.
That's cool. Like
we have to adapt. We have to figure out a way to win in these markets where maybe the traditional Ski Butlers experience doesn't quite fit. Instead of just saying it's we're around whole, we're like, no, we're gonna figure it out.
I feel like Abode as a company, we are always trying to figure out concierge and make it better.
Yeah.
It's very hard in vacation rentals because you're not like in a hotel, you're not a front desk thing where you're centralized. So doing really good concierge to the level of a hotel, it's much harder. And we've been iterating on that for years. And I do think it's like once you could allow yourself to be creative and not be like, it has to be like this, that you can, like we're doing that right now with our concierge. And it's like that's how you can find the answers. And we were having discussions today, literally about how the way we've always done things and how we can change to make it better next year. And I feel like that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, no, we always deliver. We go to the house, we meet them, we do this thing. There's a tip involved, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, okay, what if we just allow ourselves to admit that it might be different and it might work better?
Yeah.
And like, okay, let's open our minds, open our hearts to a new idea. And then it can be, that's giving me hope.
And we've had so much support from the resorts, from Blue Mountain, from Stratton, and saying like, we'll give you the resources, we'll help you make it work.
Yeah.
We'll give you some insight.
That's cool.
And we got some great team members who are creative.
Yeah. Okay, these are good tips. Thanks for giving us very interesting stuff. I see Ryan, as always. I did not like really prompt Ryan before we started this. Like we literally took 2 minutes to have like a pre-discussion of what we were going to talk about because I think authenticity is everything. But even with like no prompting, and maybe you had these ideas before you got here, but this is such good stuff. Like I feel like we're okay. I'm going to try to like do a little recap here. Okay, so we went over Ski Butlers is like the way to give really good service, to have like delivered ski gear. Obviously, now we know there's another option too. That's like more of a drop-off scenario. But basically, for most of luxury guests, like what we deal with Abode, and if you're a homeowner and you have a luxury home in any ski market where Ski Butlers is, this is an option for your guests to have their ski gear delivered to the house to make it super convenient. They don't have to go to a shop. And then also if they have issues while they're on their trip, someone can come and, customize their situation, change out their boots, their skis, whatever. This is unique and interesting. Also, Ski Butlers was acquired by Altera, which means they're at all these Altera locations. And even in some of them, they're allowed to like go on the mountain, meet the guest, mid-mountain, whatever. Okay, that's amazing. Also, if you ski Deer Valley, if you might be skiing Deer Valley, if you have a second home at Deer Valley, really good to note that Ski Butlers does have amazing access, even for days when Deer Valley tickets sell out. If you're going to be a client of Ski Butlers, you may be able to get access to lift tickets, even on a sold out day. That's huge. And then also we have heard from guests in the past that, Ski Butlers, they only have rock signal skis. And now there is a new test program that just came out on Friday called Quiver, where you can get access to additional brands. So I feel like that's all amazing points. And then the whole thing about going to the East Coast and how if you were going to be going to a ski resort just for the day, or if you're like, know what skis and stuff that you need, there's a drop-off program where you don't have to do the whole fitting. I think all of that's like really important. And I think for homeowners, because we are going to be sending these episodes from this season of 10 episodes, which are our episodes 11 through 20. Or wait, is that right, Helen? Is it 11 through 20?
Yeah.
These are our episodes that we're going to send out in our email newsletters to our homeowners, to the abode homeowners. And who knows how widely they're like share their calling emails all over the world, all over the universe, most likely. Yeah. And but so these episodes we are meaning to like speak to the homeowners more precisely than just to anyone in vacation rentals. And I think from the homeowner standpoint, all the things about Ski Butlers are really important to us at Abode because we really care about that good guest experience. And also, like we talked about, those first 2 hours, and like really it's the first few minutes when you get to the house, this has to be like an amazing positive experience for the guest and the homeowner, so that they feel good about the whole thing, and then hopefully leave a good review. And Ski Butlers is part of that for a lot of our guests, because a lot of our guests arrange for their ski gear delivery close to the time that they arrive, since they're going to arrive probably around somewhere between 2 and 5 p.m. And then they might go to dinner. And so some time right after they arrive, a lot of times they're doing their ski fitting so they can start skiing the next day. So I think all these things are just interesting points. And Ryan's the first person that we brought on the podcast that done. Oh, no, wait, that's not true. I'm lying. Hold on. I was going to say Ryan's the first person that is on the podcast that's not an Abode employee. But this is kind of like, I would say this is foggy because we had Linny on the podcast, and Linny is our consultant. So she's a consultant of Abode. Tandemly has a company that consults with Abode for like 5 years ongoing. So I mean, almost like she is an employee, sure, basically. So like you really be the first like outside person. Yeah. So that's just something to note. Like we were not going to have any outside people on the podcast, but then I had a meeting with Ryan the other day, and then Helen and I were talking, and I was like, we really should bring them on, because Ski Butlers have been like it's probably our longest term, most impactful vendor like partner for concierge services, because we're only in ski markets. Ski gear is so important, and because we can totally rely on you. And I feel like other companies we've worked with in any area of vendors for concierge services, it's hard to have consistency. And I think Ski Butlers was a big enough company, and obviously, like I said, with such amazing training, that it's been like consistent. We've been able to work together over a long period of time. That is not standard. So that's something else to think about if you have a home in one of these markets. Like, this is not a company that just like showed up and they have all these big ideas. Like, they showed up a long time ago, and they had big ideas that they actually like made it happen. And I think that's unique. It's small town. Yeah. Especially in ski towns. Okay. Is there anything that we forgot to mention that you want to make sure we get in? Like, will the Ski Butlers executives be like, Ryan, you did not mention your, I don't know, email. Like, oh, well, how about that? What if someone's listening and they're like, I want to know more about Ski Butlers. Yeah. What email should they write to? Yeah, they can reach out to me directly. Happy, no matter what market they're in. It's just Ryan, RYAN, at skibutlers.com. That's easy. Super easy to spell. Hopefully I didn't mess that up. No, I'm sure that's fine. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to discuss whether it's just, the experience, the service, partnership in other markets. Yeah. And even if you're if you're a property management company person and you want to know, and maybe you're newer and you want to understand more about like training your team and like what are some cool ways to think about training your team. I don't know if this would be Ryan specifically, but like Ski Butlers has an amazing approach to training, and I'm sure not going to share all their secrets, but it doesn't hurt to like reach out. Ski Butlers has crazy amazing training, I think. Yeah, no, we pride ourselves on that. And whatever it is, pick our brain, pick my brain. I mean, and it's not just me. I mean, we have an awesome team, home office here, but we have great leadership in every market that we operate in. Directors, managers that kind of make the whole thing go. So so because we have so many listeners, you're probably going to get like flooded with your email box. Yeah, ready for it. So just be ready. I'll block off. Okay, and you probably need to block off like a solid week for meetings. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for doing this. Yeah, it was great. This was fun, right? It was awesome. Whenever I try to get people to come on the podcast, I think a lot of times they're kind of like, weird. I don't want you. I'm uncomfortable. But then it's just like we're talking. And Ryan and I had a gazillion meetings where we're just shooting the shit anyway. So I feel like normal. This is normal. Just like microphones. I did not bat it high. Okay. Let's go. Okay, cool. Okay. Hopefully you'll be asked to be on like a million podcasts after today. This will be the start of a gigantic podcast career for you. And that's how I see it happening. I'm manifesting that. Good. Okay. Thanks for everyone who listened and watched the podcast this time. And hope you'll come back next time, which will be our 19th. Is that right, Molly? Our 19th episode, so almost at the end of our second season. Yeah, thanks for listening. See you next time.